Well, here we are. Another babysitter story time. Now, I think this is probably going to be the final one because I don't think I'll ever see her again, but we'll see. So this story time all starts off earlier this month, specifically October 9th, okay? I put out my new song, Butterfly. I was really excited about it. It was pretty cool. I like that song. If you haven't heard it yet, go check it out. It's in the description. You already know the deal. I've said it a million times. But I put out this song, and I was super excited about it. You know, it was a nice night. I got to release my song. I was enjoying the night. Just relaxing, you know? And of course, I couldn't have a relaxing night because no joke, right after the song came out, something had to happen. Something involving my old babysitter. I thought she would just give up, but of course, she wouldn't. Alright, so it was 2 in the morning on October 9th. It was 2 hours since my song came out at midnight. And I was really just kind of having a nice night. I was driving around with my friend, listening to music, just kind of, enjoying the fact that my song came out, right? So we drive around for about 30 minutes, and then I get dropped off back in my house by myself. I go inside, I sit down on my computer, I just start playing some video games and listening to music, just once again, trying to have a nice relaxing night. Okay? And then all of a sudden, just like the last story time, I see headlights in my driveway. And I turn my head and I look, and I'm like, who the hell is in my driveway in the middle of the night like this? But then I thought about it for a second, and I was like, oh, it's probably just my friend. Like, we were just driving around, and he was hanging out at my house right before that. So I was just assuming that he left something at my house, and he came back to pick it up. So I jump up, I walk into the living room, I put my shoes on, I put a hoodie on, and I go outside, go ask him what he needs. And all of a sudden, I walk up to the car, and I realize it's not my friend's car. It's a car I've seen quite a few times at this point. It's a car that belongs to somebody that used to babysit me, aka my former babysitter. And I see this and I immediately realize that it's her, and I turn around and I run back inside, shut the door and lock it. And I'm just thinking to myself like, oh hell no, like no, this is not happening right now, like no. So I just sit there with my back against the door, just like wondering what's gonna happen, like why is this happening right now? It's the middle of the night, I have no one at home with me, like I wish my friend was still here because I just can't deal with this craziness by myself. So I'm just sitting there on the floor in front of my door with my back against it, and of course I start feeling someone knock really hard up against the door. And I stand up and I peek out the glass on the front door, and of course it's none other than my former babysitter yelling on my porch, knocking on my door super loud saying, "Open the door, Austin, open the door." Now, I did not plan on opening this door. I was like, hell no, this girl is crazy, like she's shown up so many times. I'm not opening up that door unless I have someone here to help me. Cause it just got to a point where I was like genuinely freaked out. Like someone showing up at your house in the middle of the night is just terrifying, especially when they're being loud and angry and slamming on your door. Like, nah. So I immediately call my friend who just dropped me off, and I'm like, yo, dude, like my old babysitter's back here again yelling at me, like you gotta come back. He's like, are you serious? He's like, yo, what's her problem? Like, why is she so angry at you? I'm like, I don't know. I guess she just hates my videos or something, but like, you gotta come help me, man. I can't deal with this by myself. Like, I don't know what the hell her issue is. And he's like, don't worry, bro. I'm on my way already. Like, don't sweat it. I'm like, all right, thank you, man. So I'm just sitting back against the door, hearing her pound on my door, yelling at it, just hoping that my friend gets here as quick as he can. So like 10 minutes go by and I hear a car door slam in the driveway, so I knew that was my friend, and I hear yelling. So I quickly swing open my front door, and she's standing on the porch, and my friend's walking up to the porch just screaming at her. He's like, yo, what the fuck is your problem? Why are you at Austin's house in the middle of the night? Like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm sick of this. He needs to stop harassing me. And my friend goes, harassing you? Who's the one harassing who here? Is it Austin, the kid that makes storytime videos? Or is it you showing up to Austin's house in the middle of the night, yelling at him through his door, pounding on it? And I just look at her and I'm like, he's got a point. And she goes, shut up. I'm here to talk to you and you only. And I was like, what do you want? And she goes, I want you to delete every babysitter video you've ever uploaded. And I was like, no. And she goes, no? I'm like, yep, no. I've said this a million times in my life at this point, but once again, I'll say it again. Your personal information isn't in the video. Your face isn't in the video. I didn't breach your privacy. I didn't break a single law. I literally did nothing wrong. So I'm not deleting the video. You can't show up at my door in the middle of the night and yell at me over a story time video. Like, seriously. And she goes, well, I am. I'm right here and I'm yelling at you. So what are you going to do about it? I'm like, probably make another video. This would be another great story time. And she goes, what? I'm like, yeah, like, you do understand the more you show up to my house, the more stories you give me, right? And she goes, I don't care about your stories. I don't care about your YouTube channel. I don't care about you at all. And I'm like, yeah, is that so? Then why'd you show up to my house in the middle of the night, yelling at me over my videos? And she looks at me, smiles, and goes, because I like to. And I'm like, all right, look, you got 1 minute to walk off this porch, get in your car, and drive away, or I'm calling the cops. And she just sits down on this bench that I have on my porch. She just sits down, starts relaxing. And I counted backwards from 60. I pulled out my phone and called the police. And like 5 minutes later, they showed up. The police station's like right down the street. And she's still just sitting there, super quiet, just on my bench. And I'm standing there with my friend still. And the police walk up to the porch. There was 2 of them. And one of them goes, "Hey, what's going on here? Who's the one that called?" I was like, "It was me." And he's like, "All right, what's going on?" I'm like, "Look, this girl right here, she's shown up to my house unannounced so many times, and she needs to go. She won't take the hint that this is wrong. She still just shows up all the time, like she's causing problems. She needs to leave." And the cop goes, "Is this true?" And he looks at her, and she goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Why are you showing up here?" And I shit you not, she looks him in the eyes and says, "Because he makes YouTube story times about me, and I don't like them." And he looks at me and goes, "Can you explain to me what YouTube story times are?" I was like, "I make gaming/story time YouTube videos on a channel for millions of people, and I tell these stories and stuff, and she's in a few of them, and she doesn't like that." And he goes, "Would you mind pulling up one of these videos for me?" And I was like, I guess. So I had to pull up a babysitter story time, and we had to all watch it together on my porch. And after he watches it, he goes, "Yeah, like, I understand why you might not like this, but there's really nothing illegal about it or worth going out of your way, showing up to someone's house yelling at them over." And she goes, "Yeah, I guess so." And he goes, "All right, look, what do you want to do?" And he looks at me, and I'm like, "I just want her to not come back here ever again." And he pulls me aside, just one-on-one, and he's like, "Look, what do you want to do? Like, do you want to, like, try and get a restraining order? Do you just want me to, like, tell her to leave, and hopefully she never comes back? Like, what do you want to do here?" I was like, "Honestly, I just don't want to go through any, like, paperwork or anything right now. I just want her to leave." And he goes, "Okay." So he walks up to her, and he tells her, "Look, you have to leave. This gentleman doesn't want you on his property. He wants you to leave. Don't come back if you're not invited, especially in the middle of the night, yelling like that. It disturbs a lot of people. So please just go home and don't come back here uninvited. If you do and you start yelling again, we might have to give you a ticket. So please just, go home." And she goes, "Okay, I will." And she turns around and she just walks back to her car, gets in, and drives away. And he looks at me and he goes, "All right, I hope you don't have to deal with that anymore." And I'm like, "Me too." And after that, the police left. Me and my friend went into my house. And my friend's like, "Yo, man, I'm going to stay the night if that's cool with you, just in case anything else crazy happens." I'm like, "Yeah, man, that's fine." So, the rest of that night was pretty normal, but still, just creepy and not fun to deal with that. But I think that's the end of the babysitter saga, honestly. I feel like she's not going to come back after that happened. But I don't know, I could be completely wrong. Hopefully I'm not wrong, but still, you never really know. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the end of the story time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all later. Peace.
And I'm like, what's up? They leave me out for the dead, and now they know they're fucked. All my texts are unread, that's how I know she's done. My life changed in a flash, all my friends gone. My friends gone. What can I say? All this lavish shit comes with downfall. Every day, leave my phone at home, not taking no call. I'm away if you're trying to